Hello, Happy New Year and welcome back to Hop to the Top. Hope you're all doing well for the start of a brand new decade, 2020. It's mental. It still feels like 2020 should be the far distant future. Either way, 2020 is going to be a big year on the TomFM channel. I think it's going to be a really good, solid year, and hopefully we're going to make a lot of progress with all the goals that I'm setting out that I'll probably reveal at some point in the near future. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good year. So to start off a new year, we're going to set a likes target on the video. Ambitious, but I want 500 likes on today's video for a brand new year. And that's ambitious, I know it is, but I think we can do it. So if we can get 500 likes, that would be amazing to start the year off. Anyway, we can't dilly-dally too much because we have got 4 games coming up for you today. We've got Bayern Munich in the Champions League. We've then got Young Boys and Basel in the Superliga. And then we have got Roma in the Champions League as well. Since you were last here for the wins against Xamax and Zurich, we've played 4 games in between episodes. We started off with a 5-0 win in the Swiss Cup second round. Pretty routine win there, which is pretty good, with Molnar getting himself a hat-trick in there, which is pretty good going. We then played Porto in the Champions League and actually ended up winning 4-2, although we did get lucky, I suppose, because they did have a man sent off 18 minutes into the game, which kind of helped us out quite a lot, although at that point we were already 2-1 up at that point. So actually, perhaps it didn't help too much, but it meant that Porto had to really sit back and defend, and we could sort of do what we wanted to do. So I think we got very lucky in that game, but I'd take a 4-2 win over Porto. That was fantastic. We then had a disappointing 1-1 draw with St. Gallen, with Sosa being sent off in the 90th minute, with Augusto getting the goal in that game. And then we also managed to beat 2-1-0, but it wasn't a great game from us as Alex Smith picked up the goal in the 14th minute. So, good results in between episodes, but not quite brilliant performances, I've got to say, apart from the cup game, but we should have won that one routinely because Cons are a really rubbish team, essentially. So, we are still in the cup. We are currently top of our Champions League group as things stand because of the goal difference as it stands, but I'm sure after we play Bayern Munich, we'll probably drop down a little bit. And then we are also, as it stands right now, after 8 games, top of the Super League table, although not by much because St. Gallen and Luzerne are 2 points behind us and Basel and Young Boys are 3 points behind us. So it is all still pretty tight. But as I say, we've got 4 games coming up today, so let's jump into things very quickly and get on with the Bayern Munich game. And this is the lineup that we are going to be going for against Bayern Munich. It's a little bit attacking, but I feel like we're at home. What's the point sitting back and defending? We may as well go attacking and see what happens. So we've got Fruchtel in goal with a backline of Boone, Bajrami, Augusto and Cruz. Palmiero and Schneider in that midfield partnership because Marin's currently picked up a bit of a knock, so not quite ready to start a game. Claude Maurice, Alex Smith and Harvey Elliott on the wings and the attacking midfield, obviously. And then Matthew Bottles is going to be starting as a false 9 with Claude Maurice and Elliott as the inside forwards. So hopefully it'll work out. So then kickoff is upon us today against Bayern Munich, who still have Neuer in goal. How old is Neuer? He's now 37. And Lewandowski, who is, I mean, he must be well into his 30s by this point, as well as we've just come very close from a corner there, which is quite interesting. We have the first shot of the game. Lewandowski is 35 in game as well. So they've got an old side. How old's Goretzka? He's just 28, so actually not that old, to be fair. Kimmich, though, he must be getting on a bit. Kimmich, he's only 28. He's younger than I thought he was. But the fact that Neuer and Lewandowski are still starting shows that they must still be absolutely world-class players out there. I mean, all of them are, really. Look at that Bayern Munich side. They're all pretty decent. But as we get to half-time, we're currently drawing 0-0, which I've got to say is pretty good going. I'm surprised at that, especially as we've been the better side as well, looking at the attributes, and looking at the stats. Roma and Porto also drawing, and that's massive for us as well, because that means we keep 3 points clear of both Porto and Roma if we manage to draw against Bayern Munich, which we seem to be doing. And I'm very reluctant to make any sort of changes out there. We'll probably take Claude Maurice off because he's not played particularly well. We'll bring Dajaku on for him. Tim Wright will be back in the team pretty soon. He's just about coming back from his broken leg, which is fantastic. None of the front men have really played brilliantly. That's something we need to really maybe address. If we bring Molnar on for Matthew Bottles, make him an advance forward on attack, and maybe let's leave him as inside forwards for now. And then maybe hope that they do something and act as a front three as Coutinho puts the ball into the middle. Goretzka heads it and it's cleared off the line. Did you see that? Cleared off the line. Twice I think it was cleared off the line. I think goal line technology needed to be used there. We must have goal line technology, surely, but somehow that did not go in the back of the net. That is fantastic. And if we can break on a counter-attack right now and score at the end of the pitch, that would be amazing. As Schneider gets tackled by Gedson, Lewandowski into Coutinho. Felipe Cruz has probably got himself sent off. Classic move from Felipe Cruz. And now we've really got to sit back and defend as What's this screen? What's this telling me? Okay, in that case, Alex Smith is coming off the pitch, and we need to bring on... who? Callum Brennan can come on at right back. That works out nicely. We're going to have to bring back Dajaku and Harvey Elliott to be defensive wingers, please. I think we just need to sit back, really, and just sort of... I don't know, just sit back, essentially. That's what we have to do. Leave Molnar up there. But if we can hold on for 20 minutes and grab a 0-0 draw with Bayern Munich, that would be massive out there. As we should also probably actually drop down to defensive as well. Let's not forget to do that, as there is a highlight right now as Roma are currently beating Porto, which is interesting. I've just seen that on the table. Here come Bayern Munich, then Gnabry into the area, and he's not scored. Fruchtel, of course, used to play for Bayern Munich. We signed Fruchtel off Bayern Munich. Obviously wanted to show Bayern Munich that he should have stayed for them. You know, I don't think he would have wanted to leave Bayern Munich, particularly because it's a big club and he could have thought that he would replace Neuer at some point. But clearly, they didn't think so. That's why they let him go. But he's showing them today why, really, they should have kept him, as we have just pulled off, without getting too ahead of myself, a 0-0 draw with Bayern Munich. That is massive. Massive. Roma ended up beating Porto 2-0 as well. So Porto looking like the weak link in the group, which is fine because all we want to do is come in the top 3 to maintain any sort of European football. If we come fourth, we're out of it completely. But first, second, third, I don't mind because obviously third drops down to Europa League. That, though, was a really impressive result, I've got to say. I'm really pleased with that one. Even though Cruz got sent off, we kept it and we did well. And we've been given nearly £1 million for a draw, which is crazy. So if we can sort of keep that momentum going, obviously we must have played really well against Bayern Munich. If we can keep that going against Young Boys and Basel, then maybe we could end today's episode quite a few points clear at the top of the table and with some decent points in the Champions League as well. Some massive wins, though, in Group C. 8-0 for Man City, 7-0 for AC Milan. That must be some sort of Champions League record, surely, as Mbappe scores 4 for Man City. Man City bought him off PSG for £226 million. That is ridiculous, isn't it? Now, the first few fixtures are coming through from the game weekend where Basel beats Sion, so they temporarily overtake us to go top of the table. But, of course, we've got that game in hand on them to play, so that's quite good for us still. But, of course, we are playing Young Boys, and we can't really take anything for granted against Young Boys because although they are sitting 5th in the table right now and they had a bit of an off-season last time around, they're still a very, very good side, and we need to be wary of them. So, if I'm honest with you, we've got international break right after this, so I don't really feel the need to make too many changes to rest players because, of course, international break, they get rested over international break. So we'll take Bajrami off because he is suspended for whatever reason, and Callum Brennan will come on for him at centre-back. We'll bring someone on the bench instead like that, and then I don't really want to change the lineup too much, so we're going to stick with it and hopefully grab a win. So obviously right at the start of the season when we played Young Boys, we played them off the park completely and managed to win it only 1-0 in the end, but we had like 27 shots, so they're like 3 or 4 shots, something ridiculous like that. Whereas they've scored 19 seconds into this game, which is fantastic. So not really the start we wanted in today's game. It's not brilliant, I suppose, but we've got to bounce back from this now. The issue is, no one's really scoring goals. We've had 2 seasons where we've had Coley scoring. I think we just picked up a penalty there, which is hopefully good. We've had Coley and Molnar scoring 20 plus goals last season. We had Coley scoring 20 goals this season before with Yuan as well. This time around, none of them, as Schneider just about scores that penalty, none of them are really suiting or taking to scoring goals. We rotate them a little bit to see who's playing well, but none of them really like to score goals. We're all a bit shy this season, which is a little bit worrying. I'm kind of hoping that our inside forwards start to score a few more goals, especially if we use Bottles as more as a false 9 supportive player. As Schneider, again, is cutting through. This time, though, his shot is terrible. Perhaps I just need to go back to the drawing board, as Alex Smith just picked up a knock. Perhaps we need to go back to the drawing board a little bit with tactics to score some more goals. But at the same time, you know, give or take a few points and things like that, we are pretty much top of the table. So it's not like it's too much of a worry. The system works to the point where we are winning games, but we're just not scoring as many goals as we have done in the past. So I think that's probably my only sort of concern as Young Boys come close from the corner. How about his Smith knock then? He's got a potential groin injury. Cruz, as per usual, picks up a yellow card. Classic Cruz. We might take Smith off at half-time because he's not actually getting any better condition. It's going down. So I think at half-time we'll take Smith off. Just before half-time, we've got to defend a Young Boys corner, which is swung in, and it goes all the way to the back post and goes in the back of the net. Twice now, we've been undone from crosses into the middle and not really dealing with them properly. You hate to see it. That's not a fantastic... Defensively, that was terrible from us. And who's that? Felipe Cruz. How has he not just hoofed that out? Like, you saw an amazing on-the-line 2 goal line clearances against Bayern Munich, and yet somehow we couldn't clear that one out, which was really frustrating as Young Boys come forward again, hit the post, and Boone gets rid of it, and that should be half-time. So aggressively, I expect to see a much better showing from you in the second half, and we're also going to take off Alex Smith for Florian Wirtz and see how they get on. Again, though, the winger-striker combination isn't really working out too much, so we might make them inverted wingers rather than inside forwards and then bring on Molnar as an advanced forward. Although Bottles is coming forward on the ball right now. Come on, Bottle. Okay. I think before it is too late, we are going to make inverted winger on attack, and then we will take Molnar onto the pitch for Matthew Bottles as an advanced forward on attack. Palmieri also on a yellow card and looking a bit tired, and not a great rating, so Marius Marin will come on for him instead. So they're all the changes that we're going to make relatively early on. We just have to hope now that it works out for us. As Elliott coming forward on the ball, I can guarantee we're going to score from this now, nearly score from it, not quite. But if we'd scored from that would have scuppered all my plans. But all the changes should be made now. Just a quick shout of demand more. And if we can just grab an equaliser in this game, I'll be happy. I don't particularly want to lose it. That's the issue, because losing it would be... it drops us down to 4th place in the table if we end up losing it. And that just shows how tight it is still in the division. Molnar on the ball for us coming forward, though. Gets past the defenders. Go on, Molnar. Goal from nothing. Absolutely nothing. I think Callum Brennan just hoofed it forward. Then I started talking about it. And then Molnar scored. So we're back on level terms now, which is fantastic. Perhaps the way to go is inverted wingers and Molnar. Even though the inverted wingers did nothing, did they? The inverted wingers did absolutely nothing. But Molnar, with only his 4th of the season and only the 2nd game it's actually scored in this season. Not long to go, though, in today's game. And we've got a corner. If we can snatch a win from this would be fantastic. And it's an own goal. What a header that is from Brian Rogoski. What a header that was. That was a powerful header. Like, that wasn't accidental, surely. Look at this. I mean, what a header that is. What was he thinking? I don't care what he was thinking. He did it either way. I love it. What an own goal that was. Header of the season. And after thinking we could be losing today's game, we are suddenly 3-2 up in it and 2 points clear at the top of the table as things stand, as we can't quite score a 4th goal there. That would be fantastic if we could, as Augusto gets out to Felipe Cruz. Loses it, though. Don't go sliding in. Don't go sliding in, either of you. Oh, God, please. Okay, keep going. Luckily for us, doesn't go in the back of the net. If we're going to score a goal, it might be now, as I thought Molnar was going to tackle the free kick taker then. That was a bit weird, as they get it out wide to Idrisi. Idrisi coming forward on the ball. Into their number 7. Oh, he just puts it wide. Oh my gosh, that was close. The highlight continues, though. Callum Brennan up to Marin. Marin to Schneider. Schneider coming forward with the ball. Someone race forward. Go on, Schneider into Elliott. Come on, Elliott. Come on, lad. Score a goal. Still, the highlights are coming, and we've won the ball from a defensive position, and Wirtz plays it into Molnar, who's out wide for some reason, but he manages to get past the defenders. Should have, they were arriving late. Maybe should have held on for a little longer. But I think that is probably going to be that now. I can't really see us doing anything else. Maybe Young Boys might do something as Idrisi, tackled by Augusto. That's clever. It goes out for a throw, and surely that's got to be it now. And that's how it does end. 3-3 in the end. Quite the exciting game. I think we'll take a 3-3 draw, though. I think that's not bad going. We actually dropped a second. St. Gallen go ahead of us on goal difference there, 9-6. After looking at, I sorted both as 9 then. So they go ahead of us in goal difference temporarily, but it's still so tight. A long way to go. It's anyone's title still. Smith's injured for 1 to 2 days. That's not an issue for us, so that's absolutely fine, because we've now got international break for 2 weeks. So I'll see you for the Basel game in 2 weeks' time. And as if by magic, we are now here at the Basel game. But there are 3 changes that we need to make, because both Boone and Cruz are suspended for yellow card infringements. Too many of them. So Boone will have to come off for Maracucci, and then Felipe Cruz will have to come off for Biancone. We'll sort out the substitutes in a minute. And Alex Smith picked up an injury on international duties. He's out for another 3 weeks or so, which means that Florian Wirtz is going to get a bit of a run out over the next few games or so. So take your chance, mate. Take your chance. We're going to leave Bottles up front for now, though, with inside forwards, because Bottles has got a 10 in training. He's done so well in training, and I feel like we need to reward that. But obviously, if we don't start to score goals, we'll switch to what we did last time around. So that's kind of what we'll do. So kickoff is upon us against Basel. And just like in the Young Boys game, there's a highlight straight from kickoff. I do not want to be conceding 19 seconds into this game like we did against Young Boys either. So let's switch on, lads, and not concede a goal. As Maracucci tracks their number 18, misses the tackle. The ball in the middle. Augusto clears. And now Harvey Elliott can get on a counter-attack. Come on then, let's score at the other end of the pitch. The ball across isn't fantastic. Goes back to their keeper, who plays it up to Vargas, gets it into Lopez Munoz, and here they come forward now. Basel, good save from Fruchtel, huge save. Now, a few of you have mentioned in the comment section that Fruchtel might not be good enough for us, and I'm getting those vibes a little bit. He's not quite developed to the standard that I thought he was going to develop to. I thought he might stay a bit better, but he's only like 2.5-star current ability for our squad right now, which actually kind of puts him as of a weak link. I'm not quite sure how Elliott missed that. Bottles, though, does actually end up getting the goal in the end, which is fantastic. So at least we do manage to score at the end of that. But Elliott hitting the post there, I was about to scream. Okay, that might have been a little bit harsh, but I mean, really, he should be doing better than hitting the post like that. But great work rate from him to win the ball back, get it into Bottles, and Bottles to finish it. I'm happy with that. Back onto the Fruchtel situation. He's only 2.5-star current ability. He's still only 23 years old, so we're writing him off a little bit, perhaps. But how good is Hunter Ball? Hunter Ball is only 1.5-star. We've got Marvin Keller still, who's potentially going to be better, but I'm not too fussed about Marvin Keller. I want Hunter Ball to come through, because he's got the one with the 4-star potential. But the thing is, we might have to get Hunter Ball out on loan somewhere, maybe. That's kind of what I'm thinking, to get him more first-team football, for him to then develop properly. So we might look to get him out somewhere on loan. Maybe send him to our affiliate club in the division below if they want to play him, that is. That's a different question. But it's something we need to look to do with Hunter Ball to get him that first-team football that we need. But for now, Fruchtel, I think, will be good enough as Harvey Elliott does get a goal in today's game. This time, makes no doubt, and puts it in the bottom corner, not hitting the post. Got to say, to be fair, it's a decent pass there from Claude Maurice, and then Elliott just putting it past the keeper there. Good work rate. One final chance before half-time to make it 3-0, and Maracucci on a yellow card puts it into the middle, goes to Harvey Elliott, who gets his 6th of the season, and pretty much very similar position to how he scored his first goal in today's game. Gets his second goal in very similar fashion, curling it around the keeper into the far post, and just before half-time, we're 3-0 up against Basel, which you love to see. As the ball came in, Elliott was there, volleyed it actually, and just put it past the keeper. Brilliant. So a pretty good way to be at half-time, especially with Luzerna winning actually, but St. Gallen drawing, which is quite good because St. Gallen are another team challenging us. So it's good to be winning. Also good for our goal difference as well. Goal difference is massive this season, I think. So we need to make sure we keep a 3-goal lead. Claude Maurice, though, has apparently pulled a groin, it just said up there. So I think we'll take Claude Maurice off to bring on Tim Wright, back from his broken leg. He's been out for a whole calendar year. 12 months he's been out for, not really playing games. He's made the odd appearance for the under-21s and things like that. But have we just won a penalty? I'm not sure if we just won a penalty. We have. Harvey Elliott is to take it. Misses it, though. Can't quite get his hat-trick, unfortunately. I missed the whole build-up to that. But at least we didn't score because we didn't really miss anything then, did we? But, I mean, luckily we're 3-0 up, so it doesn't matter if we miss it. Free kick for Basel, though, with half an hour to go. Is the comeback going to be on for Basel? Augusto clears it quite nicely out wide, but they do manage to get the ball back in the middle and end up scoring from it. So not quite the great clearance that I thought it was right at the start. And also, I've got to say, the inside forwards showing why they should be playing today as inside forwards, not inverted wingers. I'm so confused as to which system is really the best one to go for, but today, Harvey Elliott is showing why he should be an inside forward. He's actually looking quite tired, to be fair. We might take him off just to rest him up for the Champions League game coming up. So Dajaku can apparently play on that right-hand side. We'll bring him on as an inside forward. Is there anyone else really key that I want to keep rested who's not looking that fit? I mean, they're all looking pretty fit right now, I've got to say. Should have brought Bajrami back on for Callum Brennan. Forgot to do that, but that's not too much of a big deal. Particularly as we are winning 3-1, so it's not a big deal at all. And actually, he's on a 7 rating, so that's pretty good going. We might take Schneider off, who's on a yellow card for Marin, I think, and then make him a ball-winning midfielder on defence. Wirtz can then become an advanced playmaker on attack, and that might help us out a little bit going forward. Although we are quite deep into the game now, so really it's not going to make too much of a difference as Basel nearly grabbing a second goal. We need to just be a bit careful from set pieces, I think, because we seem to we seem to look a bit shaky from set pieces. I think we need to work on that a bit, and I need to actually probably set some set piece instructions. I never do it. I always feel like I probably should, but I never like set up anything like that. But maybe it's a time to do that now, but I've not a clue what I'm doing with it, as Dajaku nearly scores a goal there quite nicely. But I think looking at the clock and watching the time tick down, I don't think there's going to be any more goals in today's game, although Bottles coming forward. Can he get a cross into Dajaku, nearly getting it onto his head? Dajaku actually goes and wins it back, to be fair, with 10 seconds to go. Can we grab a fourth? As Biancone into Wirtz, can't quite get it in the back of the net, and surely that's time. It is time. But this time, it's a 3-1 win for Grasshoppers. Although St. Garland came back and won their game and still are ahead of us on goal difference. But at least we are stretching out ahead a little bit. We are now 6 points clear of Young Boys, 4 points clear of Basel, and 3 points clear. 4 points clear of Basel and 3 points clear of Luzerne. St. Garland with a 90th minute winner to make sure they win their game against Servette, who are bottom of the table as it stands right now. But we only got 2 days off before the Roma game, and the Roma game is a big one. A massive one. I have just noticed as well, our under-18 squad, none of them, apart from one centre-back, are actually suited to the positions. Like this guy is... We're playing a CDM on the wing, and a striker on the wing, and a striker up front who's not actually a striker, he's not a false 9. So... This is something we need to think about with the under-19 squad, actually, or the under-18. This is what I need to do. The next intake will come through, but also I think I should probably start to sign players specifically for the under-18s to try and increase a bit of players coming through. I don't know. I think I need to actually work on this a bit, because that's terrible. That is really bad. But now we've got the Roma game coming up, which is huge. We need to get a good result in that one. But also it's a big game for Basel as well, because obviously PSG and Barcelona are going through from their group. They've both beaten PSV and Basel quite heavily. So Basel and PSV are fighting for third place, and we want Basel to get third place so they get further in Europe as well, and that helps out all of Swiss football and things like that. So I'm really going to be rooting for Basel in this upcoming game, as well as us, of course. So we need to get back to pretty much full strength for this one. We can bring on Bajai back on for Callum Brennan, who can come back on the bench. Boone comes back on for Maracucci. We bring back on... Where is he? I was going to bring Felipe Cruz back on, but he's obviously suspended because he got sent off last time around. So Biancone stays where he is. Alex Smith's still injured. So actually, the lineup we've got is probably the best lineup to go for. And considering that it worked very well against Bayern Munich, getting a 0-0 draw, I don't really want to change anything for this game against Roma, especially at home as well. So we're going to stick with it and hope for the best. So then kickoff is upon us here today against Roma, who have got a quite a young side, actually, I've got to say. Senzig Uda, Justin Cliver, they've got Axel Tanzabe. They've got quite the young side. Florenzi's obviously not young. Florenzi must be ancient now in this version of the game. 32, actually not that old then, to be fair. But they've got, for the most part, a young side, Roma. But right now, despite their 7 shots to our 0 shots, they're not breaking through. We're doing pretty well. And we might be about to have our first shot of the game as Palmirio. Can he get rid of it? He gets it to Schneider, into Boone. Boone to Harvey Elliott, who can't quite win it. And Roma coming on a bit of a counter-attack now as Tanzabe into... whatever he's called, into Gaich. That's a name I've not really seen before. As Senzaguda comes forward on the ball, cuts inside, Fructal, easy save in the end. Palmirio on the ball for us then, as Claude Maurice plays it back towards Boone. Boone into Bajrami. Bajrami up to Palmirio. Come on, lads, let's work a ball nicely out wide to Harvey Elliott. Brilliant. He cuts inside, takes the shot, but the shot was terrible. And we can't score the goal. But we're getting slowly into this, despite Roma's early dominance. We've managed to get to half-time at 0-0, which I've got to say I'm very pleased with, as PSV and Basel are currently drawing, and Bayern Munich are beating Porto, which is fine. If Bayern Munich want to go on and win every single game, win the group, that's fine. As long as Porto keep losing, that's fantastic for us. Corner coming in early in the second half, and we've been weak from corners. We managed to get that one cleared quite nicely, and Bottles on the counter-attack can't get past Florenzi, and that's the end of the highlights. We're not doing well. We are playing really poorly compared to how we played against, who are they called? Bayern Munich. Anyway, Molnar coming on as that advanced forward on attack. Claude Maurice is going to be an inverted winger on attack. Elliott, inverted winger on attack. I mean, Schneider's not played well. He's looking nervous. I think we actually bring Marin on for him. Make him that ball midfielder on defend, and make Wirtz the advanced playmaker on Let's make these guys on support rather than on attack. I think that's a little bit too risky maybe. Let's make these guys on support, but leave Wirtz on attack. That might help us out a little better, trying to create 1 or 2 killer chances at the end of the game. We've got a corner though, which Claude Maurice is going to be swinging in. It's clear, but only as far as Marius Marin, who puts the ball in the back of the net. And we, despite the run of play, where Roma have been the better side and deserve a goal, we go 1-0 up against Roma. And honestly, these first 3 Champions League games that we've played, a win against Porto, a 0-0 draw with Bayern Munich, and as it stands right now, a 1-0 win against Roma, I would not expect this, particularly as we go top of the group because of it as well. That is ridiculous. We just need to sit back, and well, not sit back, because I don't want to invite pressure onto us, but we just need to be calm and keep hold of possession and just not be too aggressive with our players. Harvey Elliott is in behind the defence. Go on, lad. Marik makes a good save, unfortunately for us. Let's drop down to balance and just try and be a little bit more cautious in our play. They look to come forward again. They're in behind the defence, and Fruchtel is showing his worth today. We slagged him off earlier, but he's showing his worth as Porto have just gone 2-2 with Bayern Munich, which means that Bayern Munich's points are going to drop down as well when this all updates itself in a second's time or so, as the ball is cleared by Elliott in the end. Pellegrini doesn't get anything with it, and Palmeiro coming forward. Come on, lad. Can we grab a second goal as Palmeiro races forward? Can he get the cross into the middle? He does to Marin. Marin into Biancone. Nothing happened from that in the end, apparently. But as the clock ticks down, we are going to be beating Roma, and we're going to go top of our Champions League group. Harvey Elliott on a 6 rating seems very, very harsh when we've just beaten Roma 1-0. Bayern Munich end up losing to Porto because Porto go up to 3 points, and we are top of our Champions League group by 3 points after 3 games. How has this happened? This should not be happening, but we are there on merit. Wow. So Porto were 2-0 down, and then from 70 minutes onward just pulled it back with 3 goals in 10 minutes for Porto at home. They beat Bayern Munich, and they allow us to go top of the group. I've got to say, at this stage, if we drop out the qualification places, I'm going to be upset because we are doing so well. What an episode. Unfortunately, Basel lost, which probably means that they're going to drop out of all of European football, but what an episode. I can't quite believe what's happened in the Champions League. If you just pick up £2.3 million for winning that game, ridiculous money. We're going to have some more European football next time around as well. We're going to go to Porto, Xamax, and then Bayern Munich next episode in a 3-game... It's not really special anymore because we do 3 games quite often now, don't we, with European football. But that's what's going to come next time around, so look forward to that. So thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope you have enjoyed it. And if you have done, do drop a like. And we're trying to get to that 500 likes target for the first episode of the year. Of course, have a fantastic 2020. Join me throughout it for more Football Manager stuff. It's going to be a fantastic year for the channel, I think. So keep with me, stick around, and I think you're going to enjoy the content coming out over the next 12 months. And I suppose that's everything from me. So have a good one. Bye.